Awesome.
Thanks for doing this, brother.
Oh,
Congratulations on another big victory on the Who's Number One stage. A little different this time around, but give me your thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I just basically wanted to try out some new skills, you know what I mean? Obviously, weight advantage, you have a bit more discretion to try new things out. But yeah, basically, I still was getting a lot of criticism, even after the quick submission last time. The guys are like, oh, he just does the same shit every time. So I was like, you know what, we'll take this opportunity to mix it up, especially because Ty was very much, just kept talking, expecting, game plan A, game plan A. It's actually what I did with Keenan back in the day on Polaris. The first time we had a match at ADCC, I just went game plan A, which is just pull and go for the legs, and he was able to use it to pass and take the back, use his length. And then when we had the rematch, it was the same thing. He didn't train any wrestling for it. And I knew he wouldn't train any wrestling, so I was like, you know what? I'll use this as an opportunity to use the wrestling to get the victory, and it sort of played out that way tonight.
Do you think it really kind of threw Ty off his game?
I think so. I think he was confused, especially there was I would say, probably within the first few minutes, a takedown, and when I put him down, basically body lock pass straight away. He threw up a lot of movement, but I will say there was only one thing that was close. That was the knee bar. But again, that's the problem with knee bars. Just like when I applied the knee bar on him, they're quite easy to turn out of, unfortunately. Like, even if you feel pressure, it's hard to get complete braking pressure without control over both legs.
Turned out to be a great match. The first one that's gone the distance. How did you feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say probably about 7-8 minutes in, I was feeling pretty tired. But as the match went on, you sort of just build up that second wind. So, I mean, a good example of showing sort of that I can push through that fatigue at the end. I believe I got a stalling penalty, probably 12 minutes in, around there. But really my idea was to remain head over head on Ty. So I knew Ty wasn't going to play your typical bottom game. He wasn't going to stay on bottom. So basically I wanted to force him to overcommit to get up. So by remaining head over head, the only way he can stand up is to explode, which would expose the back, which I think one time I almost got. But basically you end up in that stalemate where, like, if I back away, he's going to kick or push me and stand back up. So by remaining head over head, he has to make that big commitment to get back up.
Anything surprise you about Ty now that you kind of got your arms around him there for 15 minutes?
I mean, I would say he's surprisingly strong for that weight division. He's sort of has erratic, unpredictable movements. You know what I mean? He doesn't fall in line with the standard responses. But apart from that, yeah, I felt pretty good out there. Not in too much danger, I would say. I would say a guy like Ty, because of his erratic movements, the longer you go with him, sort of the more you can start to feel and anticipate those things. So obviously we saw Cade hit the buggy choke tonight. So those things are kind of disarming. They're sort of like you get to a good position, you back out. But the longer it goes, it's sort of more like you saw the second buggy choke attempt. I basically just went to half guard and waited for him to let go of the leg. So I think a guy that's unpredictable, the more you roll them, the more you start to figure them out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that buggy choke. You know, obviously unorthodox choke, but you have to expect it from the Rotolos. Were you kind of waiting for that?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I knew Cade has a good one, and obviously we had the refresher tonight. I think we saw Cade hit it on PJ Barch, and then we saw him hit it again on Cole Franson. But again, it's like any of those submissions, like a wrestler. It's like a Nogi Ezekiel choke. It's one of those ones that is like, it's almost embarrassing to get caught with. So you almost over-defend. You'd rather defend early into the position than late, because you know that's going to be a viral video. Your friends are going to give you shit about it, so you sort of over-defend, I would say.
A lot of fans out there, you know, cheering for you and everything. How does it feel now these days? You know, you're at the top of the card. You're the main event. You got a big following behind you. How does it feel to be kind of this grappling superstar?
I mean, yeah, it feels pretty cool, especially where I'm from. I'm from like Adelaide, Australia. Like jiu-jitsu obviously wasn't even a professional sport back then. You tried to win a few medals and then open a gym if you were lucky. Like I never even trained with a black belt till I was a purple belt. So for me to have made it from Adelaide to basically medaling at ADCC, being a part of Who's Number One, even being the main event, feels, yeah, it's kind of surreal. And it's crazy that some of the jiu-jitsu athletes actually have fans. And I would say it's the guys that have personality, they put on exciting performances, and they really give back to the fans. They almost like, we give ourselves as much content, social media stuff, we give as much of ourselves away to the fans, and now it's starting to pay off where, like, you see guys like Andrew Wiltz has real fans. Where you see a lot of the classical IBJJF champions, like, no one really cares about sadly. You know what I mean? I would say the guys that make money are the guys that have fans, and the only way to get fans is sort of to be yourself and try to put on exciting performances.
You know, now that you have you do have another match booked, right?
Yep.
Next month you're gonna be fighting Lucas Hope Barbosa, another Atos guy, another very hype matchup. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, it's an exciting one. What's funny is I've only ever pulled out of 2 matches, and the first one was because of COVID, and I pulled out against Barbosa, and we couldn't rebook it at the time. And again, the second one was against Ty, and that was because of the COVID vaccine. So it's funny that we're sort of coming full circle in back-to-back months. So I'll be back here in 4 weeks to face Lucas Barbosa. He's obviously one of the most decorated athletes in the sport. I would say he's well known for being just such a big, strong powerhouse of a guy that's hard to score on. But again, I would say it's a completely different matchup to Ty. He's probably going to be much more evasive. I don't see him throwing up too many submission attempts of his own. I see him playing cautious, trying to use takedowns and passing to win the match. So it'll be probably a bit of a roles reverse, considering that's sort of what I did to Ty tonight. So yeah, it'll be an interesting match, exciting match. I would say between him and Kynan, probably 2 of the best athletes in the sport.
I saw after this match that you and Andre and Cade had a little conversation. Can you tell us what you guys were talking about?
Oh yeah, I just said to him, I said, honestly, I didn't know how that was going to go because I got the stalling penalty. So I was like, we'll probably call it a draw, that one. We'll do it again later. But again, if I don't get the submission, I don't even consider it a victory, really.
Always fun to watch you, Craig. Anything else you'd like to say here?
Now obviously excited for the Barbosa match, excited for the tournament in September, just excited to basically compete as much as possible.
Yeah, it feels like there's some real momentum here. Am I wrong? Behind you, behind who's number one, behind everything. It feels like people are really tuning in.
Yeah, I feel like some guys will look for a big victory and then take some time off to sort of bask in their achievements, but I feel like the sport's very much momentum based. So as you build momentum, you might hit a hurdle and take a loss, but as long as you get right back in there and keep going, you run with that momentum. It's those guys that take a loss or a victory, take a lot of time off, that really don't evolve, don't come out better. So it's really me taking matches against guys like Ty, who's on basically a lower rank in a different division. I think is he even a black belt? You know what I mean? I'm putting myself out there taking risks, and that's going to long-term make me a better grappler.
A brown belt, I believe.
Brown belt, yeah.
So, yeah. Well, fantastic match, Craig. Always super fun to watch you out there do your thing, man. Can't wait to see you on the Who's Number One stage again, bro.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks.